What's up you guys, it's Ben and welcome to my channel where we talk about everything there is relating to selling on Amazon. So for today's video, what I wanted to do is reveal a few Amazon FBA secrets. Things that most sellers and FBA YouTubers don't really talk about because quite frankly, they're not being searched for on the YouTube algorithm. Most YouTubers currently speak about product tutorials, product research, listing your product on your first page and so on and so forth. But there are a lot of bits of information in between those parts of the Amazon FBA business, bits that most people don't talk about. And me personally, I want to cover absolutely everything there is relating to selling on Amazon. Each one of these bits, I can't actually make a video on its own. So what I thought would be a good idea is to collate all of them together and give you one very valuable video, which by the end of today, hopefully if you watched it till the very end of the video, you'll come out of having a few bits of information that you actually may have not thought of before, didn't come across, and something to hopefully provide value to you guys if you're just starting off selling on Amazon. Now, with that being said, guys, if you are interested in selling on Amazon and you want to take it forward and you're really serious about it, I do provide one-to-one mentorships. So if you're interested in those, please don't forget to check the links down below. Otherwise, I do have my business tools on offer as well now, such as Helium 10, where I provide 50% off, Jungle Scout 30% off, Transferwise, where you get £500 transferred to your suppliers completely free of charge, or Tide, the perfect business bank account for you to start off your Amazon FBA business. With that being said, let's get straight to the video. So the first thing I wanted to talk to you about, guys, is what is the most important part of product research? Well, effectively, as many of my videos have said in the past, is coming up with something different, something unique, something that Amazon FBA Marketplace currently does not have, okay? And I've realized a lot of sellers at the moment, what they do is they try to find this product that has not been currently sold on Amazon. They try to do various analytics and so on and so forth, but they forget the most simple and basic thing. We are speaking to people, to human beings on Alibaba.com, okay? Just because they're about 5,000-6,000 miles away from us doesn't mean that they're not human. So what you can easily ask to them, and this is how I came across some of my best-selling products ever, is by simply asking my supplier, do you have anything new at the moment that is not currently sold on the UK marketplace? They can be sold in other marketplaces, but is there something new that has literally just come out, maybe nobody has ordered just yet, that I could see what are the prices of those products, and maybe I could do a sample order and see how they go. You'd be amazed at the products that these suppliers will provide you that you won't be able to find anywhere. At the end of the day, guys, products get renovated and renewed pretty much on a monthly, if not half a yearly basis. And if you ask these questions, some of the other new sellers are not asking, you'd be amazed at the product choice that you'll get. So say, for example, you're looking for a yoga mat and you have some sort of a yoga mat in mind. There is nothing wrong with asking, do you have anything new? Any different designs, any different shapes, any different sizes of yoga mats that are currently not being sold? And I promise you, you'll be amazed at the results you get. The second thing that I guys wanted to talk to you about is the fact that once you start selling on Amazon, you have roughly a budget. I want to spend £1,500 on this Amazon FBA business. So that means I'm going to have to spend a little bit of money on the PPC, a little bit of money on the product, a little bit of money on the subscription, and so on and so forth. But what you guys forget is that Amazon doesn't actually pay you at the point of sale. If you sell a product on the 1st of March, the chances of you, most of the time, you're going to be getting that money reimbursed to you between 2 to 4 weeks, okay? So that means you need to account for not just the first batch of inventory, but also some of the second batch of inventory, because if you find the product that is selling really well, the chances are you're actually going to be selling it a lot and very quickly, and therefore you're going to have to come up with money for the second batch before you actually get reimbursed for your first batch. And this can cause problems to some of the new sellers who are starting off on a relatively low budget. So in my opinion, well, for example, in my case, what happened was when I sold off my very first product, it was selling a lot better than I expected. So I started off with just £1,200 on my first unit, but I actually had to put in another £1,000 of my own personal money before I started taking profits back out of the business and reinvesting them. And this is what you guys have to account for, is that if you have £1,000 to start off with and your products do well, and I hope they do, then you may have to come up with additional income to reorder, okay? And you won't get the money from Amazon straight away. You're going to have to wait for them to actually reimburse you, and then you can use that money for your third, fourth, fifth batch, and so on and so forth. Next up, what I want to talk to you guys about is that when it comes to product researching, okay, you don't just think about, okay, can I afford it? And that's the only thing, okay? You have to think about also the fact that Amazon will only allow you to send 200 units on your first order. Starting from beginning of last year, Amazon has introduced inventory limits that all of us need to be aware of. And those are 200 units of your first order can go to the Amazon FBA warehouse. The rest of the orders, the rest of the units, you're going to have to hold in your house, in your garage, in your warehouse, wherever, okay? So that means, guys, you need to think about not only how much the product is going to cost you, but also you're going to have to think about where is it going to stay? Can I keep this product, these 400, 600 units, whatever, in my house? Now, if you're ordering something relatively small, then it shouldn't be an issue at all. And in my case, it was a simple 3 boxes. That was no problem at all. But if you're ordering something slightly larger that will take up a little bit more space in each unit, you'll be amazed at how much that adds up if you're ordering 500-600 units. All of a sudden, you're going to realize you're going to have to fill up your bathroom with full of boxes because you don't know where else to put them. Now, after a while, after Amazon sees that you're going to do well and sees that your sales are going well, they will relax those limits and you'll be able to send inventory later down the line. But in the very beginning, this is an inconvenience that a lot of my students have come across that literally didn't think about at all. Now, number 4 is effectively choosing the right category for your product. And this is the mistake that I made a lot of times. When it comes to selling on Amazon and listing your very first product, one of the things that I think get overlooked very, very easily is choosing the right category for your product. The truth is effectively is that some of the products can go into one category or potentially another. And it's really, really important, guys, that you have to do your own research, see what other products in that niche are being categorized as, and you choose that same category as well, because hopefully you don't make the same mistake as I did, choosing a different category, something that's not as relevant to my product as another, and therefore getting pushed down in the search results completely for months. And it took me a while for me to figure out what exactly was I doing wrong. Why am I not showing up on these pages, even though my images were doing really well, my title was fully SEO optimized, and so were my key features. Something as simple as choosing the right category can really make or break your product in the very beginning. So please make sure you pay attention to every part of listing of your product. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about, and again, something that gets overlooked so much, is the fact that you can save a lot of money by just getting the suppliers to print off the barcode and stick it onto your each and every single product. Okay, now what do I mean by that? Each and every single product that is going to be sold on your Amazon FBA marketplace, it does need a barcode. Now, Amazon doesn't care if they do it, if you do it yourself, or if the Chinese do it, okay? And the most cost-efficient way is to print off the PDF barcode labels and send them off to your Chinese supplier. This is what I do on every single one of my products. I basically create a listing, I print off the PDF barcodes, and I send it to my supplier so then they could stick them each and every single one of the boxes completely free of charge. Now, you can do it yourself, but in my opinion, it's going to be a lot more hassle given that we're not as experienced in packaging and so on. And also you can get Amazon to do it, but you're going to have to pay around 25 pence per each barcode. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're going to barcode around 500-600 units, that does add up to a substantial amount of money that you could have easily saved up and therefore spent on a different product. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about is storage costs. Something that is really forgotten by new Amazon FBA sellers. When they're thinking about fees and their profit margins, all they calculate is the referral fee and basically the fulfillment fee when it comes to Amazon. They may sometimes include the PPC and maybe the subscription, but what they forget is the storage fees. And this is a big fee, guys, especially if you're going to order a big, large product. Sometimes I had to discontinue some of my products purely not because of the profit margins, but because their storage fees are just too high. They take up way too much space, and some of the products actually took up half of all of my inventory space, and it just doesn't make sense for me to hold on to them. So guys, just because a product is cheap and you think the margins are great, if it's going to be much larger than your usual items, you may find that you're paying a lot of storage fees each and every single month. Now, if that product sells really well and you get rid of the inventory pretty quickly, then it's not a problem. But if it doesn't sell well, especially if during some parts of the year, you may be stuck with a big hefty storage fees every single month until those products get basically sold off effectively. So in my opinion, you should start off with relatively smaller units, so at least that one fee doesn't really erase your profit margins completely. Okay. The next thing I want to talk to you about, and this is something that I drum into my basically students each and every single time, is not putting enough effort into images. I will repeat that until ever, okay? Images is by far the most important part of your listing, guys. So don't be short-sighted. Don't think you can skim through the images, just do your SEO and people will buy it. No, images is what people use to make their purchasing decision, more so than the price, then the title, then the key features. So you have to make sure that your product is not undersold. I have some students that send me their listings and I think the product is absolutely amazing. It's different to everybody else, but their image sucks. Okay, their images suck completely, and I keep telling them you have to, if it takes you a week to sort out the images, to do it yourself, then so be it. This is something that you cannot short-sight. You cannot just skim through and move on to the next part of the business. Images, like I said before, is by far the most important part of your Amazon FBA listing. I'll say it again. It is the most important part of your Amazon FBA listing. It's not the price, it's not the key features, it's not the title, it's the images. And last but not least, what I want to talk to you about is how important is this to you? How serious are you actually when it comes to selling on Amazon FBA? A lot of my new students that start off with, they're not sure, okay? They're not sure because they haven't sold before, they haven't got any experience in the past of selling on Amazon or selling any business whatsoever. In my opinion, you have to figure out for yourself, are you in or are you out? Okay, you cannot be half-heartedly into Amazon FBA. If you're going to be half-heartedly into Amazon FBA, you're not going to put enough effort and stress and time and everything and money related to this business. If you're going to be full in, then you have to be religious about watching YouTube videos, trying to be up to date with what's going on Amazon, putting in the necessary time and effort into product research, into your listing, into your inventory, into speaking to suppliers, or you're out completely, which is absolutely fine because this business model is not for everybody. But you have to, before you go any further, ask yourself the question, are you in or are you out? And whichever the answer is, you have to completely commit to that, okay? You can't be half-hearted into this. That's pretty much it for today's video, guys. I really hope you found it useful, and I really hope you found some of these bits of information quite handy and useful, and something that you can take back and think over and kind of maybe recalculate your fees or look over your images. So hopefully that will help you in your Amazon FBA journey. If you did like the video, please don't forget to subscribe and like. I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.